US under-20s get the opposite of CONCACAF in World Cup qualifying. Leicester City players remember that they're Premier League champions. Arsene Wenger says no to £30 million per year. Jill Ellis names a 16-year-old to the US Women's National Team She Believes Cup roster, and Mix Diskerud exits New York City FC with a burst of verse. Good morning, it's Tuesday, February 28th. My name is Daryl Grove and you're listening to The Goalmouth, America's first, only and therefore favourite 5-minute soccer news podcast. So, remember how the US men's national team under-20s had made a horrible start to World Cup qualifying? They lost 1-0 to Panama? Well, all is forgiven, because last night that same US under-20 team beat tournament faves Mexico 1-0, with Sporting KC's Eric Palmer-Brown scoring the all-important 29th minute goal with his head from a corner. Bang, get in. This is a heartening win for US national team fans, not least because it's the US finally beating Mexico after a couple of recent defeats, and doing it in Costa Rica, where the senior team lost 4-0 in November, lest we forget. And they did it all in front of former head coach Jurgen Klinsmann, who was there to watch his son Jonathan playing goal for the US under-20s. Perhaps even more impressive than the result was the way the US, a team which so often gets, quote, CONCACAF'd in every age group, with a tougher, meaner, more cynical team. The mission was to defend and counter, to break up Mexico's play by being just rough enough to make passing difficult, then catch them quickly on the break or maybe score on a set piece. And that's exactly what these US youngsters did. Yep, the so often CONCACAF has become the CONCACAFer. And yes, that is definitely a verb now. The US now just needs a point against El Salvador on Friday to seal World Cup qualification. Topping the three-team group would also put the US into the CONCACAF U20 Championship final, maybe some silverware on the line. Speaking of champions, over in England, Leicester City finally remembered that that's exactly what they are, beating Liverpool 3-1 with two very Jamie Vardy-ish goals from, you guessed it, Jamie Vardy, and one long-range high-velocity volley from, you probably didn't guess it, Danny Drinkwater. Vardy's second even featured a cute drag back from Riyad Mahrez, and young Nigerian midfielder Wilfred Ndidi did a convincing N'Golo Kante impression with 11 successful tackles. It was almost as if Claudio Ranieri's much harumphed about firing never even happened. There's an argument that the Leicester players should be blamed for failing to repeat their 2015-16 heroics until after Ranieri was so harshly fired. But there's also the argument that, hey, they finally put things right after a horrible run, and the fact they did so after Ranieri's exit suggests maybe, just maybe, that the Italian coach was part of the problem this season. Next up, I am very happy to announce the winner of our Howler Magazine subscription contest. In a way, everyone who entered was a winner because it means you listened to every episode of Goalmouth last week. But in another, more accurate way, the actual winner is Yeti. Congratulations, Yeti. You've won a subscription to the wonderful Howler magazine. George Qureshi has already sent you an email with the details, so please check your inbox. Everyone else, if you'd like to be a Howler magazine subscriber, like me, I actually share a subscription with a certain co-worker you may know from Thursday editions of Goalmouth. Then we have a special offer just for Goalmouth listeners. Go to shop.howlermagazine.com. Choose a subscription, and when you use promo code LOVETOYOURMOTHERS, all one word, love to your mothers, you'll get 15% off the regular price that the normals who don't even listen to Goalmouth have to pay. Arsene Wenger news next, because why not? According to English newspaper The Telegraph, Arsene Wenger has rejected a £30 million per season job offer from an unnamed Chinese club, which would have made him the highest paid manager in the whole wide world. No word on why Arsene said, "Boo, shi," that's no thank you in Mandarin, just FYI, to a salary that would have been double what Pep Guardiola makes, but it does put him in a stronger position when he starts negotiating with the Arsenal board about a possible extension. Just saying, Monsieur Wenger's transfer track record isn't perfect, but his contract negotiation game is on point. US women's national team coach Jill Ellis has named her final 23-player roster for the She Believes Cup, which starts on Wednesday. The surprise inclusion for the games against Germany, England and France is 16-year-old midfielder Brianna Pinto. 16. Pinto plays club soccer for CASL. Not pro soccer, not college soccer, club soccer. She was playing with the US Under-17s in October, was then promoted to the Under-23s in January, and is now with the full senior team, the actual full-on factual senior team. Did I mention she's only 16? So US fans eager to see how the rebuilding process is going after the disappointment of the 2016 Olympics could do a lot worse than tuning to watch USA play Germany on Wednesday night on Fox Sports 1. But that's more than 24 hours away, so if Pinto's career acceleration continues at the same pace, don't be surprised if she's already retired from international soccer by then and accepted an astronomical salary from a Chinese Super League team. Finally, with the 2017 MLS season kicking off in just a few days, Mixed Diskerud has not been given a roster number by NYCFC and has been told that the team needs to move him along in order to make room for less expensive guys on the roster. Or at least that's what I gather from Mixed Diskerud's recent Instagram post, which features a 5-stanza poem that semi-cryptically explains the situation. Here's the first stanza. Somebody told me I'm not part of a plan, and if he was, he'd run like the others ran, because the budget is tight and binding contracts might be broken to improve 5 to 6 positions in exchange for only one man. So it's easy to mock Mix for his musing here. If you're feeling really unkind, you could say, for example, that if only Mix's passes had been as measured as his meter, then maybe he'd have held on to that NYCFC roster spot. But I actually kind of like players expressing themselves in this way. It's way more intriguing than the standard moving on to the next chapter type cliche. So I'm all for it. And if you're intrigued by Mix's mysterious way with words, definitely read the Goalmouth email today and you'll see the rest of the Instagram poem. That's all from me. The man they call George Qureshi will be with you tomorrow. So I'll leave you with today's Goalmouth top tip. It's always better to be the CONCACAFer than the CONCACAFee.